Hey there, Nomads of Lore. I'm Sean.
And I'm Jonathan.
And together we are Mead and Mischief, and we are live. Welcome, everybody. We've already got a few people on. Welcome, Shelly. Welcome, Pat. There was somebody else. I think I saw Bulldog on here. For some reason, it's not showing up on my thing, but yeah. So welcome, everybody. If you haven't already, let us know you're here by saying hey in the in the comments. We're glad everybody's here. We're going to kind of do like what we always do. We're going to kind of hem-haw around a little bit, kind of talk about Wheel of Time and the show and whatever else, and maybe do some disclaimer-y things while we give a chance for folks to join us, and we can say hey to everybody that's here. Again, let us know if you're here. Once we actually get started, this video, like pretty much all of our lives for Wheel of Time show content, is going to be completely spoiler-filled for the show up through season 1, and I guess if we get any predictions and things right, then through season
wherever,
yeah. Whatever else, and book spoilers throughout. Jonathan's not quite done. He's making really good progress. He was telling me about all the awesome things he's reading about.
I'm about a quarter of the way through the final book. What is it? Light.
Memory of Light.
Memory of Light. Yeah. That's right. About a quarter of the way through, just got through with if you don't want book spoilers, get out now.
Yeah. Here goes.
Just got through the scene where Rand, basically they have their meeting with everybody, and Rand is going to tell them what his plans are, and Egwene is going to try to convince him not to break the seals, and then Moraine steps in because everything goes to pot. And anyway, Moraine sets everybody straight as always, and so
Mama's
really
back.
That's right. Really good scene. I love how it even had your favorite. What is her name? Cadsuane.
She's my favorite, but I am a Cad Swain apologist. I know there's people that don't like her.
I know. She was sitting in the corner. Perrin said she had a scent of approval or extreme satisfaction with what was going on.
Yep.
So anyway,
actually reminds me of another character in the second Mistborn book. Actually, in that moment, but So Sandan, welcome. So I don't know if you were on the stream when I talked about that of the several things at this point that I'm reading or listening to. One of them is I started recently the Blade itself, and so I was listening to it the other day, and I thought, I know what his name means, and I get the joke. So welcome, Sandan. Gloctus Teeth. Adrian, I assume, did we decide it was Adrian? I know she was one that said glad for saying our name right.
Okay.
Yeah. So welcome, and glad to welcome Donal to season 2. Yeah, we are too. We hope he's going to be great. He's got big shoes to fill. Pat, our sub count is ticking up. We're excited and thrilled and humbled and all of those things.
Having a blast.
Yeah, Bulldog, wave. Do see you here as Lamp Green. I'm into it as it reminds me of the board. Yeah, we are part of the collective.
That's right.
Yeah, we have been trying to have our lamps and our colors be kind of color coordinated. We haven't been perfect about remembering to set the lamps. But if you notice, our thumbnails have a particular border. So like green is our live color, and reviews are pink, right?
Yeah. Reaction reviews pink, and purple is like deep dive discussion, and then yellow is kind of like the beginner information, long-term information that Anyway, we got a few
we've
of
been
those,
doing some color coding things. Who is the I don't know if you're talking about the woman voice from the side. That's my lovely wife.
Yeah.
She's doing the comments today. Rochelle's in the comment
for us
section. Is spelled like Rachel with an extra L and an E at the end. So thanks, Rochelle. She's doing a great job pulling comments for us, especially once we really get. We're actually literally looking at the comments as well right now. But once we get really going into show content, she's going to be pulling comments for us to take a look at.
You guys are awesome, and there's a million of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Being
Lovingly.
assimilated into Wheel of Time season 2. That's right. That's right. We've got. So I read an article the other day. You know, one of the biggest predictions that we can start with before we even get into real content is, when is it coming out?
Oh.
I chuckled at an article the other day that I don't even remember where what publication it was from or whatever else. And I didn't read the whole article. I kind of skimmed it or whatever, but they were astonished to discover that Amazon is probably going to delay the release of this show because they don't want to compete with the Lord of the Rings show. No crap. They were astonished that could be true. So the obviously the earliest possible that this could come out because of the Lord of the Rings show would be in summer. But my prediction, I think Jonathan agrees, is that it's not going to come out till early 2023. Is my guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Moraine walking into the room. Oh yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we've got several folks on. Thanks for being here. We'll jump back into comments in a minute, unless there's anything else we want to. You want to kind of explain what this video is gonna. Yeah. This live is gonna be about.
So today we are going to finish up the live from last week. We tried to do, but anyway, it made it a little long. So today we're gonna figure out what is going on with season 2. Try to predict some of that stuff. We kind of took a little bit of time to do to go back and look at the summaries from The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn, and kind of pull some stuff from those two to kind of give us an idea of what season 2 could be. We're thinking our early prediction a while back. We talked about it. Season 2 would probably encompass book 2 and book 3, just because they're trying to cram as much stuff in as possible, and there's a lot of those things that can be cut out. So that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some of the things from both of those books, some of the things that have just come to mind of things that they could possibly do, changes they might make, some stuff like that.
We're doing this now instead of later because, just like in the same vein of our episodic predictions, we try to get our prediction stuff out as kind of as early as we can. That way we get to do it without a lot of the new information, without all the new trailers that I'm sure they'll put out. They seems like Amazon's been in the vein of putting out trailers early, so who knows? Maybe we'll get some fun things to talk. Well, other than the Lord of the Rings show, they've been very hush on that. But so that's why we're one of the reasons why we're doing it now, and also it's just fun. I'm sure we'll do updated predictions later. So
let me interject in here. Thank you guys for all your support, for commenting, subscribing. All that stuff helps us a ton. If you want to support more, there's a million ways to do that. We've got super chats now, so you can definitely check that out right now if you would like to. And we'll try to definitely get your comment if you super chat. And then we've got Amazon affiliate links. We've got we got a few more things coming. We're going to try to get Audible affiliate going as well, so y'all can listen to some books with us. And then and we've got some merch in the pipeline, bunch of different stuff coming on. So hopefully some of that will come out soon. Get started.
We can jump in. So this one's gonna this live is probably gonna be a little bit different because we're not kind of following an episode. But the best prediction that we have, I think, and that comes from a lot of folks as well. It's kind of a generally shared prediction. It has been a prediction for a while, actually. People have been talking about this, us included, and that's that season 2 is primarily is going to be majorly a mesh of books 2 and 3. It's going to be it's liable to be kind of a meshing of The Great Hunt and The Dragon Reborn. And that's still really, really strong theory. So the best thing is probably, so having said that, is kind of an overarching framework of kind of maybe sort of kind of the direction of this live. Probably the best place to start is where everybody is. So let's kind of take a minute to kind of take stock, because we've got everybody kind of spread out and in different places, both mentally and physically as well. Right. So for one thing, we've got Rand has RUNNOFT, right? he's left inexplicably. Why in the world Moraine let him leave, I don't know.
I think that was a lapse in judgment. Just like,
Seems like it.
I've been shielded / still shielded.
Hashtag still.
Anyway, yeah. So I think that was just lapse in judgment. But go ahead.
Well, maybe, yeah. So Rand is left because he doesn't want to kill everybody, which is very on brand for Rand. I mean, that is very fitting his character, right? Yep. And then Moraine is, of course, stilled and, and dealing with talking to Lan about that and what all is going on there, and having to deal with that. And we're obviously going to have to figure out what the repercussions as far as their bond. Is it broken? Is it whether it's stilled or shielded? Either way, if it's shielded, the bond shouldn't be broken, right? Yeah. So that should be true, and that might make a difference, and that might be an evidence, by the way, for shielding is Lan not
freaking out,
realizing what's going on, and so that's freaking out or dying or whatever, or even just feeling it, right? So surely if she was steeled, he would at least know that that's what had happened. And then of course we've got the girls dealing with all of their things, and presumably at the beginning they're going to figure out that Rand has left and whatever else. That's kind of one of my first questions is ultimately I kind of figure that we're going to take Nynaeve and Egwene to the White Tower. That's probably going to happen this season. Almost certainly. And so how on earth, with Rand having left, are they going to convince Nynaeve to not go get his wool-headed idiot
sheep brain
self to go after him? And so how are they going to get her to actually go to, and is she just going to follow her man or whatever, or are they going to have something more clever to get her, or maybe the White Tower has a tell. I don't even know. But how are they going to get Nynaeve to head to the White Tower? Because that's almost certainly going to happen. Egwene and Nynaeve, and then of course Perrin is what's happened, and then we've got importantly we have Fane with the dagger and the horn. Right, so we've got the setup from the very beginning of the Great Hunt. He didn't kill. We don't have this Trolloc massacre and the Trollocs and the Murder all attacking and this fake out thing. We do have a fake out from a battle, like this battle happening, causing chaos. So we have a similar beat there a little bit,
pulling everybody's eyes away from
exactly
the more important thing.
Exactly, and so he's took off. And, I think, and let us know, somebody said, I did not take the time to go and confirm this for sure, but I think somebody said that Rafe has actually said, like in no uncertain terms, that Loyal is in fact alive. I think Jonathan's going to see if he can find some information on that. But assuming Loyal is, hashtag Loyal lives, that one we all agree on, right? Then are they going to do some sort of dual hunt for the horn? And is Matt tied to the dagger still? It seems like he definitely is, based on what we saw, with the already made footage and whatever else in episode 8. But are they also going to tie Loyal into that hunt and all of that stuff? I think that seems like a strong prediction and strong possibility, and it might be a good way, since Matt is somewhere else, to get everybody else to have to go somewhere else.
I don't know where this quote is from, but this is Rafe Judkins' quote. It says, I can't wait to kill surprising people that are going to really pain book fans in their deepest heart of hearts. But no, Loyal is not dead in the season finale the finale of season 1.
That's a very interesting thing. Something that they're doing with this show that kind of brings a different point. That is, it remains to be seen how strong this is going to be long term, but it seems like they are intentionally doing certain things in order to keep surprise and interest alive for book readers, which I don't, right now, I'm not sure if I'm loving all of the choices that they seem to be making for that reason. Most people that are fans of a book and then go watch a show or a film, I didn't go watch Lord of the Rings and be like, oh, I hope they change some things so that I'll be surprised too. I mean, and that can be fine, and I'm not saying, and I'm not saying what they've done is terrible, but I don't know. I don't know if time will tell, and that's about as much as I really can say. With some of that, we'll see long term.
There's been some that have been really good, but there's some that are
So did I miss anybody in my recap of we've got Uno is probably alive. He appeared to be alive. Valda is definitely alive. He'll show back up. Egwene didn't kill him.
Yeah. Where Swan is and all of that.
Sure,
White Tower,
they're probably still all at the White Tower. Yeah. So where is this season going to start? What do you think? What do I think? All of that stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, do we want to go? I guess section by person by person, maybe kind of thing.
Sure. To start, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's start with Fane, because that's kind of one of the more important things. Who's going to follow Fane? Who's going to run after the dagger and the horn? And my thoughts are for sure that we're going to see Loyal. With who's being probably carried by Perrin and some I don't even know who else looking for the dagger to help Loyal.
Right,
that's what I'm assuming.
Could be.
And then for the horn,
Ingtar
of course,
has for sure been recast. By the way. So we will get an Ingtar in. No, not Huron.
Not Huron. Yeah, Ingtar.
We don't. That is a question, right? Which which I'm sure we'll discuss today.
I wonder if they'll combine.
Elias, is that going to happen, or Hurlias? Will any of that happen? Yeah. We're not shipping them. We're just we're just, they may combine those, but we'll get into that I'm sure in a minute. But yeah, so Ingtar will probably lead that quest with a bunch of other burly Shinarans. I do, who knows? I think some of this has probably changed from book and whatever else, or changed even from their initial plan because of all the rewrites and stuff at the end and whatever else. But I don't know for sure if they're gonna do the whole Loyal needs the dagger too. But I do think it's a strong idea that I kind of hope they do that for a lot of different reasons, because it keeps Loyal as an important character from now, and it, as we've kind of discussed before, and then it also, like I said a minute ago, it gives them a justification for these people to know that this is a thing that has happened and to deal with all of that. So I think that's strong there. Who all do you think is going to go with them on that question? You think Egwene and Nynaeve are going to try to go with them for a while, or they're going to go straight to the White Tower, or
I don't know if they're trying to force things along, quicken the pace. I don't think they'll go along with them, but I may be completely wrong.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I think they're gonna head to the White Tower so they can do things there and then move on. And honestly, because of our idea of book 2 and 3, I think they're gonna go to the White Tower quickly and then head to
get captured quickly.
Yeah, get captured quickly.
Basically,
exactly.
Get tricked by.
So.
That'll be another question that we have at some point. I mean, that you can kind of put in the back of your head we're not quite there yet in our predicting, but is Leandrin still a dark friend and all of that and whatever else? But that's something we'll definitely hit. So who all could go with them right now? Because right now the only option is the two girls, Lan and Moraine.
Yeah.
Right. Because Matt and Perrin. So Matt's not there. Rand is left. So. Right now, probably at the start, it'll be almost like, well, and Loyal's kind of out of pocket, but because there's the whole portal scene stuff, which I'm not. That's another thing we'll discuss at some point. Are they even going to do the portal stones as they're written, and are we going to have this other world / dimension place, whatever, where they meet Selene / Lanfear? All is that going to happen?
I definitely think Selene Lanfear is happening, but I don't know if
it'll be in
that vein. It may just be an introduction to her. It would be pretty powerful to show some otherworldly dimension things early on, but it may be too much for, or they may think it's too much for the viewers.
That's what I've been thinking this whole time. Like I was thinking, we're not going to get the Green Man. We're not going to get this Portal Stone worlds. We're not going to get some other stuff. We may not even get like extra Dream Shardy type, whatever weird things that basically we're going to streamline significantly. But after that cold open in episode 8, and the bringing and actually showing on screen some of these sci-fi elements and the way they kind of did the ways, and I could see them doing it. And I think it would, at this point, I think it would be really brilliant to bring in some of those elements, because that is something that huge. I mean, there's a lot of things that set this show apart, but that would be something where we're bringing in some of these more sci-fi-ish elements into this fantasy show that really separates the wheel and can help it, because everything these days is going to be compared to everything else. This show is going to be compared to Game of Thrones. It's going to be compared to The Witcher. It's going to be compared to Shadow and Bone, Lord of the Rings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that could be something that would really help set it apart. And so we've kind of shifted into several different places. So I think we are going to get a Hunt for the Horn. I think Loyal and Perrin and Ingtar and crew go, and I think those are the only people that go. I think is that about what you're thinking?
I think Matt's going to go too. That's my personal.
Matt's not even there.
No, I know, but I think
he's going to go separately.
I think either Matt's going to go or somebody's going to go instead of Matt. Instead of Matt, knowing that he needs the dagger or something. Like, I think there's
for Matt. Well, I don't know how many people know that at this point, and whatever.
Well,
else.
Moraine has. I think he
runs into Tom. I think that.
Yes.
I think that Tom comes back.
Oh yeah.
Again, full book spoilers. Tom's not dead, which I think a lot of people, even non-book readers, realize that Tom is probably not dead.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't see a body.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a huge spoiler, regardless.
Too important of a character. They made too big of a deal out of him, I think.
Yeah. But
and gave him such
totally
a short
fine.
time.
Yeah.
I'm ready for him to be back. But
So something along those lines is going to happen. Do we want to kind of jump in to see what other people are thinking? We may there may be something brilliant that happens.
Yeah.
So there were a few timeline, like when the show's going to come out. These are comments going back a ways.
Sandan Glotkateeth says, I'm thinking November. Yeah.
So it depends. I don't know if we know how many. One of us can look it up. Or Rochelle, could you look up how many? If we know how many episodes the Lord of the Rings show is going to have, because Lord of the Rings show is for sure coming out in September 2nd, I think is the for sure premiere date.
Yeah.
They've put that out officially. And so how many, how far that's going to go.
If they do similar and do 3 episodes out front and then do another 5 episodes, they could definitely have it done in time.
8 episodes.
Yeah,
8 episodes.
Same thing.
So so it could happen, and it would be intriguing to me. I would think that they would want to have more of a gap.
Yeah. Because they're both fantasy in the eyes of a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I think there's going to be bigger gap because they're going to want to capitalize on your Amazon Prime membership, but maybe not as much. Maybe I know Netflix is like, we've got to separate things out so that people stay on as long as possible. Amazon, typically, if you have an Amazon account and you use Amazon for other things, you're always going to keep your Amazon account, so they may not be as worried about that. They may just be trying to push them all together. So Shelly Sedai said, I thought we might get it about the same time as we
several people
got
saying
got
same.
it this year. Yep.
Same. Since I'm coming out as the villain of our lives and the hashtag stilled guy, apparently, I'll come out as the villain on this one and say I bet we don't get it until January. That's my guess right now. It could happen, but and the biggest reason I'd say that is because of what Jonathan just said. Is they're gonna people starting
milk the money cow.
They're gonna want to try to have that strung along as long as we can. We will see. I hope it comes out sooner. I would love it if it came out in May. I think that's wishful thinking at best.
Yeah.
But I hope it comes out the sooner the better as far as I'm concerned, and not just for our YouTube channel, but because I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I bet it doesn't come out till January. That's my thought. But since I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, so bad. Liam G said, this is predictions on content. Liam G said, how many book spoilers do I need to dodge, duck, dip, and dodge from? Oh, Liam, where's Liam at as far as book?
Where are you at,
3?
Liam? Are you it's unlikely that we will have very many spoilers beyond about book 3, honestly. We may talk about there's 1 or 2 things that we may talk about that are book 5. I could see us going to something in particular. I'm pretty sure.
Before we go into that, we'll give you a spoiler, Liam. But yes, book 3 is probably where we're at.
I mean, we are claiming this to be in comments and in video to be full book spoilers, and so that is our official position. But practically speaking, it's not likely we're going to talk about very much beyond book 3. So yeah, there it is.
Yes, it's confirmed that Loyal lives. Sandan says
same article
in the same article. Oh yeah, that article. Yep. And then CPM Swan Sanche getting stilled.
So having that happen in this season, so I could see that, and it would be if Swan gets stilled. I think whether or not Swan gets stilled this season, I think it depends really a whole lot on what they do with Moraine and what plot they're adding for her. I mean, clearly them choosing to have her shielded / stilled in the season is to give her a plot and to have some of that take place in this season. And so a lot of whether Swan stilling / Leanne stilling happens this season, it really is going to depend on what they choose to do with her. And we can definitely talk about we'll get to definitely talk about what we think is going to happen with Moraine this season and all of that for sure. So Shelley agrees 2 and 3 are going to be combined.
Yep. Sandan Glocka says, I can't wait for Varen. I wonder who she meets first, Moraine or Matt.
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Because we're probably not going to get the whole procession of Swan with bringing Varen and a whole bunch of other people to Faldara and all of that kind of stuff. And so will it be Varen? Will Varen be one of the people who finds Matt? And Moraine sent through spy networks essentially. Through Lady Amelisa to have the Red Sisters look for her. So that's gonna be something we'll want to talk about is, who finds Matt? Is it gonna be Leandrin and co? Is it gonna be Varen? Is it gonna be Swan? Is it gonna be, what depth is the Deus de Mar that Moraine is playing there?
Yeah.
Was her telling Amelisa that? Was that like a triple fake out there, and she, she's really somehow in contact with Swan maybe, or there's so many layers that could be happening there.
Liam says book 3 near the end, so he's in the he's at tier is where you're at. So whenever we get to tier specifics with Rand's story possibilities, we'll definitely give you a nod, and if we do anything past book 3, we'll definitely try to give you a nod. So and then we got Rustung says they might use the burnout as a reason they need to train.
Right.
That's a really good point.
We need to be powerful enough.
And we don't want to kill ourselves or
kill
someone else or hurt somebody else.
And I think those two justifications would be Nynaeve and Egwene.
Exactly.
And Nynaeve is going to want to, okay, I need to get stronger.
Yep.
And Egwene's going to be, I want to take care of me. I don't want to die.
Yep.
I don't want, whatever else. So Shelley says Nynaeve had a bad power trip at the Gap. She needs to learn. Exactly what we just said. She goes to the tower in order to level up. She's gonna she's got to get back to her Super Saiyanness. Learn how to scream real loud.
That's right. Rustung says Egwene is definitely headed to the tower. Nynaeve would want to go with her, and I'm hoping Amyrlin's meeting in Camelin they reference was to bring Elaine back.
Oh yeah, that seems very possible.
Yeah, I could totally see that as well.
And actually, the point that Nynaeve would want to go with Egwene to take care of her, that's a pretty good because Egwene is going to the tower because she's all in. Yeah, and she's going to do all that stuff. So that's a pretty strong thing.
I wonder what they're going to do with Lan and her in the to break them apart. How that's going to go. But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah, to continue that. Yeah, because. Whereas Jonathan and I both really like the acceleration and I don't even know if it's as much of an acceleration as it
Some
is. Just we are actually seeing it not through Rand's perspective, but we'll go with acceleration for the sake of simplified discussion. Of Lan and Nynaeve's relationship. The tricky thing now is where is going to be that tension? Is that going to be related to Moraine getting stilled, or is that is that going to be related? What is
feather.
where is all that going to fit? So
Yeah.
that's an interesting thought there.
Definitely.
Let's see.
Shelley Sedai.
Shelly says parenting tar Uno. Oh, I forgot about Uno. Yeah, he better go, because he's in the little we've seen of him in the show, he is absolutely nailing it. And I don't know that this is like perfect book description, but I love that he's shorter and stockier and just little general man. Yeah.
Loyal will go with Perrin. Okay. Oh, as a separate group.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Pat says, so where is Rand heading?
Yeah, we're going to have to get into that.
Yeah,
I think
we have a couple ideas for that for sure.
Yeah. I don't know if our ideas are any good, but
who knows?
So Sandan says, I have a feeling Rand and Celine will do the portal stones.
I hope so. Yeah.
This is one that I was thinking we weren't going to have, but I'm leaning towards we're gonna see portal stones in all their glory. I think is what's going to happen, but we shall definitely see.
Sandan also says, I wonder who will take them to the tower. Moraine can't go.
Moraine can't go to the tower? I think she can go to the tower.
Oh no, she can't retain because she can't return because she told her she wouldn't return. Until she was summoned.
Because of all the hoopla in episode 6.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I forgot about I forgot about that show change. So Moraine can't go back. So are we going to get introduced to some new ideas? Is Amelisa going to go? Can she go? Are they going to I think this and they could do it right, but what?
Amelise?
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah,
she
I was
did.
about to say
Sorry,
she
just
died.
kidding. LOL.
I was
JK.
like, wait, what are you talking about?
Whatever I just said was not true, but where my brain was going could be possible.
Okay.
And that is could Swan call them home? If
possibly.
they just fix it with that, that's going to be kind of like, okay, Deus Ex Machina silliness.
Yeah.
And why did we even make this whole big deal about this thing only to be like, yeah, okay, you can come back
Just
now.
tense romantic relationship.
I could
kind of
see
thing.
them doing it with oh no, you're busted, you can come home and we're gonna try to fix you and whatever else.
Yeah.
Or it could be that Swan goes, she unshields Moraine, whoever the lady is, and then Swan takes them back, maybe even with a retinue of Varen and whoever else. Alana and all those people. So it could be that Swan still goes to Faldara. And all that kind of stuff. And it could be, we haven't gotten into Rand yet, but it could be honestly that Rand, his beginning of season 2 is kind of like his beginning of book 2, where he's really trying really hard to get away and can't. So that's definitely very possible. But we'll get into Rand some more in a minute. Yeah, where are we in our comments?
Shelley says Rand is going to do his thing from the Dragon Reborn and head for Falma or Tyr.
Could be. We've already seen him discover / read the prophecies, the Karathon cycle in that library. So he may already be kind of starting to dig into that, and so he may already, because he's already admitted that to himself and to Moraine that he is the Dragon Reborn. So he could be thinking in the same sort of headspace as he is in there, and he's got to do what he's got to do, but he doesn't want to hurt the people he loves. So that's very possible. Rustung says, I'm guessing Rand will wander down to Kyrian, hook up with Tom again, and after some shenanigans of Deus Damar, make their way to Tyr somehow. That's entirely possible. And we could end up getting, it seems to me that it's possible that Rand is leaving and heads to Kyrian. I don't know what his justification for going to Kyrian would be. Maybe because as you said, he wanders and he just is out and happens upon Kyrian. He could run back into Matt again, and we could get the Matt Rand Tom situation again, kind of. So that is entirely possible. And Matt being grumpy Matt again. I know some of y'all are like, oh my gosh, why do we have to suffer through the bad days of Matt again? I don't like it. Bring me the end of series Matt. But who knows? Yeah.
Yep.
So Sandan
says Matt and Varen.
Oh, Matt and Matt meets Varen.
Matt meeting
Varen is the one that finds Matt, maybe.
Yeah.
Which I think is definitely possible, and could be a good way to introduce her. So Shelley says Matt stays at Tarvalon. The spell check, I think, or it could have been. I don't know whether it was on our end or the spell check on your end, but it's on my screen. It says Tar Avalon. But whatever that is, stays in Tarvalon to be further healed and then follow his arc from the Dragon Reborn and follow after the girls. That's entirely possible. The trick will be how to get the dagger and all of that kind of stuff. And where does that go? It was us and actually several people made the same mistake. Matt in episode 8 was not in Shadar Logoth, even though we initially made that mistake. And I heard several of the people on the YouTubes and wherever else make the same mistake. I think it's because it was dark and gloomy and the architecture was similar anyway. But he was definitely in Tarvalon because you can see the tower in the background. There's any number of possibilities. Go ahead.
Bulldog says, unless you see the body, don't count him dead. That's
exactly.
pretty true in everything. Yep, exactly.
So Rustang says, if Moraine was only shielded, how will she figure out it's only a shield, assuming to subscribe to that theory? So how will she know? So the trick with that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the shielded, the way we saw it visualized in episode 4 versus what we there, she was definitely shielded at first because we definitely saw that same animation happen. But unlike in episode 4, that shield was hovering outside, and floating around. What's his face, Logain, and in episode 8, the shield goes and goes into her. And so this may or may not, we don't know. There's a lot we don't know, which is fine. That's very book accurate, honestly, to not know a lot of things at this point. But we don't know if this is a type of shield that at this age, in the third age, they've even seen before and whatever else. And so will she be able to figure out what's going on there and all of that kind of stuff? And do they know? And even this because they know about tied off weaves in the book, right? Yep. But do they know about tied off / inverted weaves, all that kind of stuff in the show at this point? And so, I think there's a lot of questions that still remain to be answered there, I think. But
Shelley Sedai says, I think the Moraine issues are just going to expand her storylines from book 2 and 3. Goes to Vendane Aldalius. What? I don't know what that word is. For help to figure, and then she's chasing Rand.
Goes to Vandine, right? And like the person.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Then she's chasing. That's gotta. I don't know. So it's been a while since I just have barely started my reread of book 2. And so I know that Rand leaves and he runs off and is scared, and he's going to go fulfill the prophecies, and he's going to go pull the sword in the stone and all that kind of stuff in the Dragon Reborn because he knows he's got to do that. And then they're like, why did you leave, Eve? We need to help you. And he's like, no, I got to do it myself. And, and whatever else. And then he's absent from the book for a good chunk of it, even though it's named after him. And all of that happens. And so, Moraine is probably going to realize that she's made a terrible mistake and have to chase him. That's almost certainly going to happen for sure in season 2. So CPM says, what's the history of, I assume that's Elaine. What's the history of, I don't know specifically what you're talking about. Like where will Elaine, what has she been doing? I know that one of our commenters and regular theory crafters, by the way, I know Jonathan mentioned it earlier, but I don't know how logical places we're going to have to drop in. If you have not joined our Discord, we would love for you to do so. It's completely free. Jonathan's got a link pinned right now, and we've got a tiny handful, which is fine. We've got a tiny handful of folks, and we've really been enjoying kind of discussing things and theory crafting. got all the different spoiler levels and ways to handle spoilers done really well. So even if you're not quite done reading the books, we've got some good places for you as well.
Yep.
So we would love for some of y'all that we get to meet here on live to join us over on Discord as well, because we get to hear more thoughts from you throughout the week. So thanks to those of you who have joined, and if you haven't, you ought to join us because we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's the Alan who goes by Watt Lore, I think, over on Discord. He has a theory that Elaine has been in the tower for a few years, and so I think that's
in the show,
in the show, not in the books, of course. And so that's definitely a possible.
Yeah.
So Russ Dung says,
I think the portal stones will be out. Oh,
so you're still going with the portal stones? They're removing those, and I think there's that again. That's what I thought originally. That it's especially because of logistics. And we shall see for sure.
Yeah.
So Steve Cook says, if you're going to combine book 2 and book 3 in 8 episodes, there are frightfully through
few threads
you can cover in eight
That's very
episodes.
true.
Pick carefully. Absolutely. And that's definitely true. And I think we're gonna continue to see a lot of condensed. Right now the showrunners have got to be thinking, okay, we might only get 6 seasons, maybe less. Maybe we might, if we're really lucky, we'll get 8 seasons to tell this story. And so I'm sure that is a huge part of the discussion in the writers' rooms and all those places of what can we condense, what can we cut, what can we combine, what is and something that's very important that us and other people have made a big deal of, and we even talked about making an entire video about it. Oh, thanks somebody for
Pat Stone.
Pat Stone for super chat. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate that greatly. But is that Rafe and his team are very much going through the approach of they are adapting the entire series, not just book to book. We make like what I was saying before I distracted myself with the yellow flaring from the monitor over there, which again, thank you. Is you cannot, if you've read all the books or even a lot of the books, you absolutely cannot go and just straight compare The Eye of the World, the book, to season 1 of the show. That is a poor comparison at best. You have to look at the entirety of the whole thing and look at all these different things and what threat, and that's one of the reasons why and
the eventual endings of threads and
exactly.
And where we're headed.
That's one of the reasons why, love or hate the adaptation choice. It at least makes sense, Rafe's decision to add his own scenes and do some things in his own way, because of thinking about that more big picture look. And again, like I said earlier, we won't be able to see for sure some of these things until we see the whole thing, really, for sure. So we shall see.
Yep. Shelley Sadai says, clarification. The Great Hunt, Moraine and Lynn go to Vandine and Adlai. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2 retired Aes Sedai for research on the dragon and the prophecies. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's right.
Okay.
And which is funny that
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
It's funny that she gets. I mean, that it shows that Aes Sedai are not perfect memory people and perfect people either, because she's very familiar with the prophecies. That's like her whole thing, right? But yeah, she does. And she probably honestly, her going, she's going to be, whether she's stilled or shielded, and she's stuck being shielded until they figure out how to deal with that. Either way, she's going to end up kind of going into Swan's state after she is stilled. And what do I do with myself? And what is the point of me? And all of that. And probably her still trying to serve the wheel. The words are escaping me what I'm trying to say. Yeah, basically the will. Yeah, the will of the wheel. Good Lord.
The will of the wheel.
That's awful. And the pattern and all. Her basically still trying to deal with and cope with it in that way, and her digging into more almost brown sister role, makes a lot of sense for her and her character. So her doing more research and trying to deal with things that way makes a lot of sense.
Shelley also said, don't forget that Perrin's group has to pick up Gaul too.
Yeah, assuming they keep Gaul in the show. Has he been cast for sure? I hope they do, because Gaul is a super awesome
We
character.
have some for sure castings. Actually, if we want to take a break from this,
comments,
we could go,
that's true.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, this is pretty. This one is a little more, like I said at the beginning, it's more
free form. That's right.
Typical.
So we can talk about for sure castings that I was able to find. We've got Greg. I'm gonna butcher that name. Chillingrian as Ingtar. So we know that Ingtar's been cast. We've got Ciara Coveney, maybe, or Ciara as Elaine.
I bet.
Coveney as Elaine. So we know Elaine's coming.
That one
Arnas
we've known for a long time.
as Massima, which is we know that's awesome.
His starting, again, I'm very not far at all in The Great Hunt because I'm reading a bunch of things, but his character is so interesting and different early on, like keeping my later book knowledge of Massima and his changes and all that kind of stuff, and I won't say too much in case we still have spoiler things, but he's very, I mean, you see shadows of what he becomes, but it's just interesting. But
and of course the change to Donald Finn. Donald.
Sure, don't know.
Finn as Matt. I hope he does good. I really hope he does. He's got big shoes to fill, that's for sure. Natasha O'Keefe, we don't know who she's going to be. Mira Sial, we don't know who that's going to be either. And then we
go ahead and finish.
We do have a we don't know who is going to be Avienda, but we know Avienda is definitely in. And then
you already said that. I didn't see that was already
there.
So Avienda is gonna. So the leading theories right now that we kind of agree with, although and mostly because we don't have any better ones, or I don't. Maybe Jonathan will come up with something brilliant as we discuss, but that. The leading theory that we've seen other people present is Natasha O'Keefe is almost certainly going to be Selene / Lanfear. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about almost certainly, but that's a strong prediction. There are other options, of course. And then for Mira, the leading prediction is Varen, and I think that's a strong. I really like her as an actress, so I really like Varen, so I think that could be really, really cool, and really good casting. So we shall see on some of those things.
Let's run real quick through The Great Hunt. Just give y'all a remembering and us a remembering of things to come, so we can pull from that. So we've got the man who calls himself Bors in the prologue as a dark friend.
The dark friend social.
Swan and company head to Faldara. Rand is trying to get away, and then of course Rand and Swan meet in Faldara, which we don't think is going to happen. Obviously, he's run off. He's done run off already. The attack at Faldara, and then Podon Fane escaping, which obviously is also not going to happen. Ingtar leads a band, which is Rand, Matt, Perrin, Loyal, Varen, and then multiple Shinarns, which is the hunt for the horn.
Sorry, I was
and the dagger. Sorry,
I was commenting over on Discord. Thanks for those of you who joined Discord.
Yeah.
If you haven't, why not go join?
That's right. And then we got Huron the Sniffer. We hope that he's in there. We've got Rand, Loyal, and Huron meet Selene through the traveling portal stone. Perrin pretends to be a sniffer as well, because he has such great abilities with his
he's a good smeller.
his other things that are going on with him. I'm excited to see.
I'm excited to see that for spoilers.
No, definitely not. No. I'm just excited to see how they play into Perrin a little bit more, because there's a lot of stuff late in the books that goes on with Perrin and the wolf stuff.
Right.
But there's kind of it's not completely dead, but there's a lot of dead space with Perrin, and so I'm excited to see them kind of condense that and get him into that a little bit faster. We got Nynaeve and Egwene heading to Tarvalon with Moraine and Swan. Egwene learns that she may be a dreamer. Nynaeve becomes an accepted. Rand and crew and Selene go through Carrion.
I typed this summary, so
Yeah,
but he typed another one.
Yeah,
so.
maybe you should be reading your own.
Maybe so.
Yeah, go for it. 14.
Okay, so
Tom is back.
Yeah, we figure out Tom is still alive and he's dating again. How sweet, except she dies. So sad.
Yeah.
We get introduced to the Illuminators Guild in book 2, and it goes boom boom.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, not Dana, but Dina gets murdered. Tom's girlfriend. Dana done. Yeah, was that on purpose?
I don't know.
Did they have him kill? That would be slightly weird.
Yeah.
Name
choice.
Masha. I don't know.
Yeah,
probably
that is
not.
interesting.
Probably just thought Dana was a good, simple name. And then we continue to get wolf stuff. Wolves. The wolves, in fact, tell Perrin where Rand is, which is a cool. That's always an issue when you in traveling type stories, which the first 3 books are very much traveling adventure stories, right? And is when you split people, how do you get them back? And whatever else, we get the whole deal with the coin early on, but then that some of that kind of doesn't work, and of course Perrin can't use that, and so tying in the Perrin, all of that stuff is really his wolf brotherness is awesome. Let's see what else happens in that book. Rand, of course, tries to use the portal stone but fails. It kind of reminds me of. Well, actually, I think that's later and unnecessary for the conversation, so just kidding. I'm not going to say that. It reminds me of something else that happens to somebody else later. Vagueness is vagueness. You'll probably those if you have read later, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. So of course, a big reveal is that Leandrin is a dark friend. I said we were going to talk about that, and we will. And that she tricks Egwene and Nynaeve. And then Min and later like, take us too. and so they all end up going to Tomon Head, and all of that terribleness happens. And all of those things. You already said a prediction that you have is that that's going to happen earlier in the season than we might expect, which is probably a strong prediction. Obviously the girls. Well, I'll finish what Jonathan said we were doing, and then I'll maybe remember what I was about to say. Egwene, of course, gets collared, becomes a Damani, terrible, which is going to be. Jonathan said repeatedly that that's going to be a terrible thing, but really is liable to be very impactful in the show. And then Rand, Ingtar, and their gang, they go to Valma because they hear something. The Shan-Chan are there. Oh, they hear the horn is there because that's what they're trying to do is get the horn and the dagger. So they hear it's there, so they head to Falma. And then inexplicably, Rand defeats a Blade Master by the power of Grayskull. Oh wait, no, mostly because he's Taviran. Because there's no way that with the level of training he's received so far from Lan. I mean, he has received some, but there is no way that he, without Taviranness, defeats a Blade Master.
And of course, nobody sees him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he can't even earn his stripes or whatever. He does to becoming a Blade Master or whatever. And then the big climactic battle. Robert Jordan is, of course, amazing at writing big climactic battles, even if he's not good at anything else. No, just kidding. He's good at a lot of things. But
shots fired.
But he is definitely very good at writing these big climactic battles, and we get all of that. The Shan-Chan are showing up at Falma, and all of that's happening, and the White Cloaks are like, "No, you're evil, kill you!" And so they go attack, and then the Shan-Chan pull out their Damani, and you're like, no, leave, die, you dudes, and they're getting blued up, and so that's looking bad for them. But then they're fighting, and Matt's like, "Oh, look, I found a horn. Let's blow it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what had happened." And Matt blows the horn, and then the heroes of the horn show up, including Arthur Hawkwing and Brigida. And then, of course, Arthur Hawkwing, he kicks out his supposed heirs, and he drives away the Shan-Chan, and they flee back into the ocean. And then, of course, we get to all sit back and pop some popcorn because there's a projector in the sky now, and we see Rand fighting Balsamon, and he's trying to kill Balsamon, and all that happens, and he says, "I'm the dragon reborn, dang it." And then in the next book, he's like, I don't want to be the Dragon Reborn, dang it. And so that's what happens there.
Yep.
So do we want to talk about like what may show up and questions from that, and then we can hit the next book, or do we want to jump back into comments for a minute, or where do we want to hit?
No, let's talk about things that could happen, and then we'll go back to comments.
So there's a few questions that we have for sure. One is that a lot of people have talked about, and we are of course wondering, is will Huron be in the show? Will Elias be in the show? Will they be combined into a single character in the show, or will none of them be in the show? And I bet they combine them. To be honest, I bet they stick those two characters together and make them into one. I bet we do get
as Perrin's mentor,
and as kind of trying to figure out what is going on, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And from a casting / budgetary / whatever else / streamlining sense, I think that makes sense. I would of course like to see both characters because I really like both of those characters. But I bet they're combined. Do you have any other?
No, I think the same thing. I think it's going to be combined 2 characters to one because there's only so much we can do in a few seasons and 8 episodes a season. So
yeah, we've already talked about will they use portal stones and will that be a thing? We kind of, if you have any other new thoughts on that, be sure to put them in the comments, and we may get to those. And then the last thing that I really have from book 2 is I already asked that. So is there anything we're going to get? We already talked about Kyrian and whatever they may end up showing up there. I bet Tom does come back this season. I think that's not a delay until season 3 sort of a thing. I think that's going to happen pretty quick. Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything much specific other than the endings. Of course, what ending are we going to get to the show? In Discord, we had somebody was saying as a comment in there, they were thinking that Falma was going to happen at the midway point of this season, and then we were going to get Tyr
at the ending,
which may be possible. I honestly, personally think they're going to drop Falma altogether. And they're not going to do it that way. I think they're going to. I think that all of the relevant events, and what I mean by relevant events is events that they're intentionally keeping for the show, are going to happen at Tyr. And I think we're going to get. I think we'll get
the
some
big
of the same
reveal to the world that the Dragon Reborn is.
Yes, and some of the stuff with the dudes.
So you're thinking
the
100 Aiel,
yeah, all of that's gonna happen.
So are you thinking that they're gonna still have
Matt blow the horn?
Yeah, the horn, but at Tyr instead.
Yeah, they better have Matt blow the horn, because otherwise, oh no, I was gonna say something. Spoiler. Just kidding. It's not. It wouldn't have, what I was about to say wouldn't have been a big spoiler for you, but it would have been a spoiler
for me.
So I will not say. They better have Matt blow the horn, and I do think it'll. Right now, my leading theory, that sounds like what I'm thinking is going to happen is they're going to have him blow the horn at Tyr, and that's all going to happen there in one battle, not 2. As much for budgetary constraints, I just don't see us having 2 big battles. In one in the season, but.
Who was it that was needing to get out if we talked about end of book 3? Because I'm about
Liam.
to talk. Yeah, Liam, leave for a second. Maybe I'll wave you back in whenever we're done with book 3. But what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to have Falma be the end of season 2, and then early on in season 3 we'll have Tyr. I think they're going to split them up, but I think it's going to be, and it may be more. I don't know. But I'm thinking we're definitely going to have the horn, and that be a central portion, and the battle in the sky. And then Tyr, maybe not as much of a battle there. We might battle a different Forsaken and not have Balsamon be there again. And then just him pull the.
So what I'm learning is, we'll wave back in spoilers.
Him pulling the what is it called?
The sword and the stone.
Yeah.
Calendar.
Calendar. Pulling Calendar out, and then after he's done that, then kind of move forward with everything else. But basically have kind of a maybe even a mid-season, maybe that's mid-season of season 3 or something. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna push that far. Maybe they will. Maybe they severely shrink.
So
yeah. So you're back. You can come back in, Leon.
Yeah. If you're even still here at all, you may have just decided that it's not safe here and I've already left. And if that's the case, then then sorry to have you leave. So what you're telling, I'm going to say this without spoilers. So what I'm learning is a prediction that I had before we even started this live, that was about season 3. What I'm learning is you disagree with it already, which is fine, because there's no way that if what you're saying is true, that the end of book 6 is going to happen at the end of season 3.
Yeah,
and that's still my prediction right now. I don't think is this that you have said. I don't agree with you on this one, because, and here's my thought here's the reason. Here's the biggest thing in my head that tells me that they're not going to do Tyr in early season 3. And that is that if they do Tyr and that battle at the end of season 3, then what are they going to do as the climax of season 3?
No, in the beginning of season 3.
It's still. I mean, are they? Because then because they're certainly going to end season 3 with some kind of battle, something climactic, almost regardless of what it is, whether it's the end of book 6 or something else. But they're almost certainly going to do that. That's almost certainly going to happen at the end of season 3, because of the way shows work, right?
Yeah.
And so, are they going to have a big battle at the beginning and at the end of season 3? I mean, maybe. And if they as they maybe continue to gain popularity and money and everything, I mean, maybe that could happen. I still don't see Falma and Tyr happening right now, but it's possible, for sure possible. So we want to see what whether we're having to
book 4 and 5. So
okay,
maybe to have an answer for you.
Are we? Excuse me. Are we? What am I saying? We need to go and
back
see
to
whether
comments.
we need to be hashtag Tyrma,
hashtag
Tyrma, or hashtag split or
split.
whatever.
Yeah.
Else we can go to the comments.
Well, I think regardless, I think you're right that they're going to split those two things, and I just don't know.
I don't think they're going to split them. I think they're going to.
Oh, you think they're going to combine them? I think they're going to either split them and have like either a mid season 2 Falma and then an ending with Tyr.
Yeah, and I think they're going to combine the two and only have one of those two things, not both. So let's go to the comments to see whether y'all are all right and you're have hashtag Tyrma, or you're with that guy and think hashtag split. Whatever. What we really need to. I was thinking earlier, we need to follow Matt Hatch and stick a handful of polls here and there in our thing.
Well, actually, I can do that real quick. How about that? We'll add a poll.
There
we'll add
you go.
a poll.
While you do that, I'll start reading some
it.
comments. Let's see. Where did we even finish off? Oh, look. My lovely wife has made it easy for me to find. That's really great. Y'all, for the comment smoothness, y'all should really say thank you, Rochelle, on there.
Yep.
Or what? Because she's helping us a lot, and which helps y'all, of course. All right. So Glockta says, I wonder how many more scenes will be switched, like Rand experiencing Egwene's accepted test. Yeah, and that is an interesting thought. And not going too far into spoilers. Rand absolutely kind of basically experienced Egwene's accepted test at the end of season 1. And because they did that, I'm curious whether, and I suspect, assuming we get Egwene's accepted test, eventually in the show, will it change? And how many things will they have one characters do differently? And that's a long string of predictions. I think we could probably spend an entire live stream on that question alone, probably. So Hablo says in one of episodes 5, maybe, Rand stands by what seems like a portal stone, followed just after by Matt curses a little kid. So I think we will see it in action. Yes, and I didn't mention that. Neither one of us thought to mention that when we were talking about portal stones. We agree that it really seems like we have already seen portal stones in the show.
What was your hashtag?
Hashtag Tyrma.
Tyrma.
If we're doing
it's Tierney.
chronological, it should be Falmir, but that sounds stupid. So Tirma.
Tirma.
Okay, so Rustung, the last Airbender joke. What?
That's her.
That's
comment.
her comment. Oh, okay, that's her. Oh, Rustung says Tar Avatar last weave bending, which is great as an what, but it's confusing me.
You said Tar Avalon.
Oh, Tar Avalon. Oh, yeah. Tar Avatar, the last weave bender. I would watch that show or fan creation or whatever else. That would be that as long as Lady I think said Amelisa looked like what's her face?
Oh yeah. From the Last Airbender.
That'd be fun. So Adrian says, "Oh, you're back. I'll redo this one, then you can jump back in.
Go for it."
So Adrian says, "Fane is amazing in the show. Much scarier. Agree to agree. He's really, really great. Much more. But instead of in the books, he's almost more of a Gollum boogeyman kind of comes into appears with his. And I'm sure we're gonna get some of the rolling smoke. I bet we still get some of that later. But jumping out of the shadows here, he's more of a slick, ever-present, veiled threat. And a lot. I do like what they're doing for sure. It's really cool.
DK says, More mostly
Moraine.
absent. Oh, Moraine, mostly absent from book 2. She does go to Faldar with Rand, Varen, Swan, and then she goes to research with the two. And then shows up in Falma after the showdown.
Right. Yeah, she is. And that's as many people have pointed out, one of the biggest reasons why they had her stilled / shielded is to give her
something to do.
Give the writer something to do with her.
Yep, exactly.
And that absolutely makes sense.
Exactly.
George or Jorge, one of the two probably, says, "I assume we will see Leandrin and the Black Aja." I am honestly surprised a little bit. I really expected that we would see Black Aja already. And we may have seen them, but I thought we would get them mentioned and discussed in the show already. Are you winning? I saw you smirking over there.
I am winning.
Oh,
yes,
no.
Yes.
See, here's the thing. Here's the thing, folks. So 83 of you who are going with hashtag split. Now, of course, we'd only had 36 people, so the numbers don't only make, if we had hundreds of people more, then I'm sure more of you wouldn't have taken leave of your senses. But here's my strong comeback to you. That it's wishful thinking. I think you just want them to be split, and I think that I don't think you're voting with what is logical. I think you're voting with wishful thinking, or maybe not. Maybe there's
funny.
some brilliant other reasons for that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So back in Sandan, I think, right? Is that where we are?
I'm lost, so you'll have to
At the top.
Oh,
She's been keeping
you've
clean
been
for us.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sandan said, "I think you can combine Falma and have everything happen in tier."
Yeah, you're right. You're that's what's happening.
Are you the 11? Whatever.
Are you the one that's making up the 11%? So DK Moon says, "I do think we need Varen's realization." What?
Brother Tarwin's
Brother
Gap.
Tarwin's Gap Tooth. Well, welcome, Brother Tarwin's. Haven't seen. You may have been commenting before, but it's the first one I've seen. I hope we get the Dark Friends Social, the first episode back, so non-readers get a better idea that anyone potential that would be. We already got a kind of a tease of that with Dana, which was brilliant in season 1. I think the Dark Friends Social as a cold open for episode 1 is honestly a really because that would help bring the darkness factor, the layers of evil, not the bubbles of evil, but the layers of evil in the show. I think that would be really, really strong.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like, it reminds me of oh my gosh, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is very like closed. Oh, what are you doing over there? Shame on you.
I was being a Titan.
Oh, okay. Being a Titan, not hating on it. Uh-huh.
No,
Yeah,
it is
no,
good.
no.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're basically you have a very small world at the beginning, and the farther
and it
you go through,
continues to-
I think it's the same kind of thing with the or it should be the same kind of thing
Yeah.
with the evil. We have a very small eye or sight of what
Yep.
the darkness is in the beginning, and
There's
as
Dark
time
One
goes
and
on.
Dark Friends and something terrible about
Yep.
Valda.
Yep.
Is about all we know
exactly.
right now. Yeah,
Yep.
would be
So
really good.
DK Moon says, I do think we need Varen's realization of Rand being the dragon. No idea how they will do without the Faldara scene.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. See, so I don't know for sure which, because it feels like we're talking about two different things a little bit. But the hold on, honey. Let me finish talking about that comment before you undo. Go back. Let me finish with that one so I can remember what's happening. So I do think we need Varen's realization of. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. So I don't know for sure, because again, it's been a long time since I've read The Great Hunt. Well, a long time. I read them all like last year, and a little bit at the end of the previous year. But a lot of water, a lot of sleeping since then. Whatever else, and all the things. But so I don't know if you're talking about two different things. So if I start saying things that don't make any sense, because I'm not talking about what you're talking about. So the Faldara scene. Oh, the Faldara scene. Oh, not the Falma scene. Oh, her realizing that Rand is the DR. So I don't know why do we need that so strongly. I don't remember exactly what. I mean, she says that he's the Dragon Reborn, but from an audience perspective, we've already kind of seen that, and Moraine already knows it. So specifically, what are we missing from the Varen? So I don't remember, because I'm not quite there in my reread. Like I said, I barely restarted.
I don't know if he's talking about future Varen.
No. He's talking about the Faldar.
Well, no, I get yeah. I'm just saying I don't know if that realization is applied to the future.
Maybe
that's what he's
I don't
talking
know.
about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sandan says Luz Theron defeated HLT. Who's HLT? HLT.
I don't know.
Look there.
Now you're doing it. I don't know.
Who is
Sorry. Who is HLT?
Sandan, help us. Yep.
So Liam, as long as it doesn't end like Attack on Titan.
Don't give us any
I'm
spoilers.
not at the ending.
Yeah,
I'm
don't.
not even
Well,
as far as he is. But.
I guess you're reading the manga because the show has not ended yet, or because it's coming out. The ending is coming out soon. So anyway, don't tell me anything. I definitely don't want to get spoiled on that one. Love that show.
Steve Cook, Rand versus Ishii in the sky is confusing and easily skipped. Matt the Horn at Falma and Rand versus Ishii at Tyr. Matt and the Horn at Falma and Rand versus Ishii. Now that's actually a good point. Now the budgetary constraints may be different, but basically keeping them both, if I'm understanding right, but having them happen in the same time.
Same
we have
place.
Two battles going on. The question, I think, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The question I have is, specifically Rand versus Ishii. So the one thing we're missing very much there is we're missing the sweep of the eye. Well, I guess you could still have that, but who's fighting the Aiel?
You know what they could do is they could have him fighting Ishii in the Stone of Tyr, but projected in the sky at Falma, to combine those two together. But then
we could.
They're both.
Good, but
happening.
then the people of the dragon taking over, fighting at Tyr? Who are they fighting, or the people of Tyr just basically opposed and they're fighting? Like it is in the book. Kind of. But I think that's possible. So let's end this stupid poll that y'all are all wrong about.
Turok.
Look, more of you are coming to the Tyrma. More of you are walking in the light.
So walking in the light. That's not a good thing.
This is
That's
taking
not
a serious turn
in the show. Just saying, it's not a good thing.
All right, let's end that poll. That's all right. Y'all can be wrong. It's fine.
Yep. I'm gonna start another poll.
So okay, is this one gonna? Is this one gonna? Are they gonna be wrong about this one too? Are we
No.
fighting about something else?
Yeah,
What are we
this
fighting
is
about?
just hashtag stilled and hashtag.
Oh,
Anyway,
we're going
go
to
ahead.
that.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, we already know they all agree with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
On that,
we'll,
they
we'll,
used to.
We'll let
Yeah.
Sean continue. to have
Okay,
some-
so Steve says, "Oh, that's one I just read." So Sandan says, "Hi, Lord Turok." That's the. Is that just is that's the Blade Master that he is that what we're? Oh yeah, literally
the
the
Blade
thing-
Master. Yeah.
Yeah, Blade Master.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the Blade Master that he fights. Yes. I
Yeah.
wasn't even worried about it. It was a random Blade Master as far as I was caring about it. But yeah, that is absolutely true.
Yep.
So
yep.
Rustum?
As much as I don't need to see the battle in the sky, I think it'd be a nice touch to see all the copied drawings of Rand as the dragon spread throughout the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that would be a fun thing, that dissemination of information is such a big thing. I bet we still get some version of the Rand fighting in the sky. I don't know that it'll be like the projector thing. I don't know that it'll be that. That I think that would come across cheesy at best in the show.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if we have some sort of very visible way of that happening to where that starts, the rumors of the Dragon Reborn begin to spread, at some point. So I bet we still get something like that wherever it is, whether it's at Falma or Tyr or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
This is Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
Shelley says, "Don't forget, Luce Theron was also a Blade Master, and I always got that he was pulling a little Luce Theron at the end of the fight with Turok." Yeah, and that's fine. And that's again, it's like when at that point when we put out our review for that book, I excuse me. We'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
Thanks for the super chat, Alan. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll discuss the comment part as well. Where was I? What was I talking about? Oh, the Blade. So like when we reviewed that one book, the second one, The Great Hunt. There are several in-universe things. Like what you said, the Luce Theron influence in there. We do see that repeatedly in the books, especially with uses of the power and whatever else. And then the whole Taviran thing. There are several in-universe things that justify that, and some other things that happen in the books that kind of deal with the plot armor / Deus Ex Machina stuff that happens in there, and that does in a way make it better. But especially as when you read it the first time, you're not even really thinking about all of that, and so it's still whether it is explainable or not, it really it feels that way even if it's explainable, and so it works, and that is a good point. That's also another justification, and that actually honestly helps that issue, if you want to call it that. At this point, after reading all of the books, I would call it much less of an issue than I felt like it was at the time. But yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and yeah. So Alan says, you guys are talking about major prophecy changes. Eliminating Falma alters the prophecy. So I get what you're saying, and I don't think Sean's saying that they're going to completely eliminate it, but
no, it's
combining them,
and I'm trying,
in some way,
I know for a fact that you are living and breathing all the prophecy stuff right now, and digging deep into that, and so my top of mind rememberies is not as good as yours. I can say that for a fact, but so. To me, I was trying to think about whether eliminating what parts of the prophecy specifically eliminating fall. It's the battle in the sky, I think, is prophesied, right? Something along those lines. So that's the only one that top of mind I can remember. I think Jonathan's looking up some of that or something, or maybe you can and let us know, Alan, or somebody else. Is there other than the battle in the sky, essentially? What other parts of the prophecy are fulfilled at Falma? The horn, right? the horn being blown.
Yeah.
But that all of those things could happen at Tyr and still fulfill the prophecy, I think, if it's just those two things. But there may be more things as well. But it would and like Alan, you've pointed out, even in Discord, it wouldn't, eventually it's definitely possible that they alter some prophecy somewhat for the show. None of us necessarily want that to happen, but it is possible. But we shall see. So I think so Harplo before that also said, you forgot to mention the White Cloaks in book 2. A lot of stuff is going on with them on their way to Falma. That is absolutely true. There are several different things that happen for sure. I think that's something that we're gonna get in season 2 for sure. I think that's one thing that's definitely gonna happen in season 2 is we're gonna learn that Valda is not all of the White Cloaks and not the boss of the White Cloaks, and we're gonna see more White Cloak culture and some of those things. I hope they either rectify or at least don't mention again the mistake of having Bornhold tell Moraine to go to the Aes Sedai. That was a dumb mistake. It wasn't. It was nitpick. That's a nitpicky comment, but yeah. Do you have anything brilliant over there?
No, I was looking into
through prophecy, trying to all of that.
Well, actually, no, I'm looking at book 4 and 5, trying to figure out what else could be at the end of season 3.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Gotcha. So let's see what else we got. So Brother Tarwin's Gaptooth says, I think if anything they leave out Falma and the Shan-Chan just start in Abu Dar. Sorry, Sean, I just can't see the Shan-Chan in Tyr. And that's and I actually as I was making my strong overly strong stand, the Shan-Chan attacking Tyr, and I don't want to get too deep into spoilers. It actually kind of thinking about the Shan-Chan attacking Tyr and doing that specifically actually kind of reminds me of something that happens later in the books, fairly late in the books, in the Shan-Chan, and it could be a struggle there. So I don't know. We'll definitely see. I think it could work, although it would be, the Shan-Chan would have to be utterly repelled, but of course they're utterly repelled at Falma ultimately. So we shall see. So you have anything, or are you still going?
No, go ahead.
You're good.
Yeah.
So Alan says Falma has the Watchers over the waves, part of the prophecy. That's true. Now it is almost, and I need to go and look at I may look at that or have Rochelle or somebody pull that up and think. But I am trying to remember on the map that they put out for the show whether Tyr is specifically the Stone of Tyr and all of that stuff is closer to the waves essentially as and all of that than it is in the book. I know it's more inland in the book, not deep, but so I'm wondering if some of that's going to be tweaked. So they're going to, instead of tweaking prophecy, they may be tweaking geography, maybe, or they may be doing none of those things. So that's there's that.
So let's take a short breather, and I'll tell you what the two big things that happen.
He's going to tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, no,
it's
just
the
thoughts.
be okay.
The thoughts of
I'm
things
leaving.
that have to be. Maybe don't have to be, but should be in season 3, somewhere between season 2 and season 3, or what we're talking about. But so big spoilers here for books 4 and 5. If who was it that was, I forgot already. Liam, yeah. Oh yeah, Liam G. Liam, if you're still here, mute for a second and I'll wave you back in. So the big thing in 4 is the whole branding himself and the Aiel and going through the Aiel waste and into the whatever the thing is called, the prophecy stuff.
Yeah,
and
Rodion
then
and all that
Rodion.
stuff.
Yeah, there you go. And then in book 5, we've got the fight we got Morghese and Andor and all that. We've got the fight in Andor with what is his name?
That one dude. That one
Yeah. Ravine.
Oh yeah, with Gabriel.
Yeah, with Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Yeah. So those are fights that could happen at the end of season 3 or sometime.
Sure,
in
they're just
3.
less climactic than
they are,
and they may not stay. And it would honestly be a good. well, and could be. It's yeah. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, it would honestly be strong television to not always end with a battle, because that would be even Robert Jordan, who really likes his big battles, doesn't always, strictly speaking, end with a big battle. So I could see them doing something a little bit different in book 3, especially if they end with a battle in not in book 3, in season 3. If they end with another big battle in season 2, hopefully that doesn't have CG issues and casting issues and all of those other things, then it wouldn't surprise me if they don't end with a big battle type scenario. And so that's possible.
Before we let Liam back in, when does Matt hang from the tree?
That's in Rodion, so that's got to be.
So it's got to be in book 4.
Yeah.
So that might be a good cliffhanger, at least for an episode. It'd be an interesting cliffhanger for sure.
It would be.
Anyway,
They killed Matt.
Liam, come back in.
Yeah.
All right. So keep going with your comments.
Alan, as he gives he actually gives the quote. 5 ride forth and 4 return. Above the watchers, over the waves shall he proclaim. Banners across the sky and fire. Yeah. So that's what I was. Yeah. So specifically the the battle in the sky, whatever else, and the prophecies, of course, are a bit just a titch vague on purpose. The 5 ride forth and 4 return. That's, if I remember right, is that referring to Ingtar? Is that right? I'd have to go back to double check that. I don't remember for sure. I think that's what that's referring to, but I'd have to double check it to be for sure. And that could happen wherever. So I think they could make it work within that prophecy if those are the things that I'm thinking of. So we'll have to continue that conversation, maybe even on Discord if we go too long on it. So Shelley says Rand can be marked by the heron at the same time he does this thing at Tyr, which would still meet prophecy. Yeah, he could be. I'm gonna be curious how they do, like, logistically, the marked with herons, right? Because of the way they've made his sword. It doesn't have any herons on the handle, so he's gonna have to grip it weird at some point or something. I don't even know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
So we had
Where are you at, Shelley? Said I?
Yeah, we had a conversation apparently that
Monica Kessinger, are we going to get the prophecy this next season? They'd have to introduce it this season if they're ever going to, but then they're bound to be bound to certain constraints. Shelley says Rand was reading the prophecy in the library.
Yes.
Yeah,
now they haven't told the audience yet. Oh yeah. Good Lord.
But the audience didn't hear of it yet.
You said all of these
That's
things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just wondering if they'll commit and give the audience the prophecy this next season.
Yeah.
I hope so. Old Lady Human Brew said, I don't think the show is going to use the prophecies. Moraine has already said that Dark Friends have purged the White Tower libraries.
Could be.
Rustank says, I don't think it's too late to go into the prophecies in the show. I think they skipped it in season 1 because they'd have ruined the mystery of who the dragon is. Maybe that's what Moraine would be doing in season 2.
I am coming back full more. Last week I was waffling on it a little bit, but waffling, going back and forth. I don't know why that's
Rafu?
No.
Okay, sorry.
No, not Waffo or Raffo. No, but last week I was kind of waffling about it. But this is not predictions, but I am back to even stronger. They made a mistake leaning so heavy in season 1 on the Dragon Reborn mystery, and I hope that they realize that, and I hope that they use that knowledge of that not being as good a thing as they hoped it would be to inform their decisions moving forward. I don't have a problem with it right now because it's like everybody makes mistakes, whatever. But I think it's a problem, and I hope they realize it's a problem.
Yep. And
they don't do that again.
Nope. And then Rustung said, I can see that. Maybe emphasize her search through the twins' ancient texts since they're not in the Tower Library.
Oh, yeah. Maybe less information. Well, and that's
Varen's importance. That's good. Yeah.
So there are I've got thoughts. They're going to come out my mouth. Here we go.
Said that too, Rustung. Okay, go for it.
I can do this. The one really important theme in Wheel of Time is the corruption of information over time and distance. And so that could be one way to help to emphasize that and make points about that in the show. And so having some of the information physically lost, even in one of the animated shorts, we see the one of the maps or something gets kind of burned up or something. So they've already kind of visually hinted at that and some of their side information. But
yeah, go for it.
So let's see. Alan says Matt meets Elaine in episode 1. Matt meets Elaine in season 2. The difference in appearance is he wasn't fully healed. I think him meeting Elaine in season 1 is definitely possible. Season 2, whatever. Episode 1, I'd be fine with that. I think the way that Rand meets Elaine and Gawain and Galad and all that kind of stuff is kind of a odd, awkward scene that I think they could probably cut. So I think that's entirely possible. That if assuming Elaine is in Arvalon, and you're right, Tarvalon, right? Show pronunciations are show pronunciations. So assuming she is there, he could meet her there. That's definitely possible.
I like the idea that that's why he looks different, because he's not fully healed, so he's going.
Yeah,
more.
Everybody keeps saying that
they've got to have it. I think they'll do something, or I hope they do something kind of funny with that, and don't make it so.
I don't hope they do that.
You hope they just ignore it.
Yeah, because of the tone of the show. I think it would be tonally off-putting to all of a sudden insert this weird, oh look, you have a different face.
Yeah, but he could bring in the funny, like. We've been missing the Matt funniness.
Maybe we've that a little, but not as much.
I know,
but yeah,
and it's been done by other characters because he hasn't been available. So
well,
it'd be an interesting opening line of something funny. Who knows?
I guess that's true. If it's Matt that makes the joke, then I could be more okay with it. Yeah, sure.
Shelley? Yeah, Shelley Sedai said the girls get free on their own at Falma, and the White Cloaks fight the Shan-Chan army. Rand does his thing at Tyr, all at the season finale.
I still think that's strong. Now I do, and the idea of it being in separate locations, I think that could be good, and we could still get we don't still have the quote on here, but him being whatever the quote is, him being in fire on the sky or whatever the wording is.
Yeah.
I mean, that could still be. I mean, that could be projected anywhere without. I mean, that could be, or not even projected. You could still have something that meets that without it being this weird projection-y thing. That is really, honestly, everybody talks, including us, about the confusion of the end of book 1. That whole scene of the projection or whatever, that is confusing as heck, in my opinion. I mean, that's like, I was confused when I had to reread it and have discussions about it.
I reread it or re-listened to that scene over and over and over, like 3 or 4 times, just to be like, okay, what happened again?
That's
Liam. If you're here, if you're still here, you should definitely just stop watching and go read, because you got to get out there, buddy, because we're gonna the show's gonna catch up. I'm almost done.
You are almost done. Yeah, the show is gonna catch up. The show is gonna catch up to you.
Yep. So anyway, let's see. Rustung. Rustung. Season 1 had 3 battles. I think they could do 2 bigger ones, especially since Tyr is all indoors. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. It didn't have 3 big battles, though.
No, just 3 battles.
But it did. Yeah. And if you compare that, sure. Brother Todd. So there was another side conversation that Rochelle thought was interesting. So let's see what happens. I can't see getting through season 2 without some. This is Brother Tarwood's gap.
Yeah.
Without some sort of time jump, so we can legit think the girls get some tower training, and then Rustung replies that is possible. I'm hoping we see the tower training, because I wouldn't mind some exposition on how Sidar works.
I would also like some of the tests for the girls.
Will we see Nynaeve's accepted test in season 2? I bet we do.
Yeah, those
what they've done with Nynaeve
those scenes
so far
were very powerful in the book, as far as her having to face so many different things that she wanted to take care of, but was trying to finish the test kind of thing. Anyway, won't go into too much detail, but yeah, I definitely think we should get those.
Oh, look, Harplo asked the same thing. Yep, I bet we do.
Accepted trial. Exactly.
Um,
Old Lady Himbrew. Twitter of Time are getting excited about Gary Beadle. I think. Oh, they think he might be Elias.
Oh,
cool.
I wonder if that. Is that like he's been announced as being cast, or that's a more wishful thinking thing? Yeah, Jonathan will see if he can find information.
Yep.
Other Tawin's Gap 2 says, are we going to get a Sidene Sidar? Are we going to get a Sidene Sidar, or are they going to simplify to one power? I think Sidene and Sidar are full canon at this point because assuming that the animated shorts have the same canon as the show, they've already discussed Sidene and Sidar in the animated shorts for sure. And we've gotten some visual differences, which, I mean, that could still just be the corruption and corrupting Sidar, I guess, or just the one power. But again, I don't know for sure. I think we will get separate things. I hope we do. I think that would be a real irritation at best. If they did simplify it down to just one power. So Sandan says they have cast Nynaeve's mom, so we'll see her accepted test. That's interesting. I didn't know that they had cast her mom. That is probably, if they did, that's almost certainly why they cast her mom, was for her accepted test and all of that. Maybe even the old wisdom or whatever, because they kind of tweaked that story, remember? So,
as far as Gary Beadle is concerned, it just seems like he
updated
his Twitter bio to say something about Wheel of Time at one point. It's not there anymore. So, but they're thinking that maybe that was an accident.
Interesting.
Accidental. So that's all we know at this point. Where are you at?
So DK Moon.
Okay, DK Moon. I think mid-season Falma, end season at tier.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in Discord, in our Discord channel, I think Alan agrees with you. I think that is possible. And if they actually kind of do a mid-season finale, this season, and something I actually didn't even think about until this moment, is that I bet they don't do a 3-episode release on the first. I bet we get just individual episodes for this one. And if they do that, having a mid-season finale would make even more sense. And if they do a mid-season finale, it's almost certainly Falma. And so that's definitely
bringing
possible.
Him over to the dark side. So Rustung Fane just got the dagger in the show. Maybe we'll still see him get sick like Matt.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely. I bet he will continue to be affected by the dagger and Mashadar. And somebody, I think in Discord, said something about, or maybe it was on here. I don't even remember where it was. Said something about the sheath for the dagger not being seen at this point, and so there maybe Matt has that, and that somehow we're making it a bifurcated object essentially. I'm adding extra words to whatever the person said, but and that could be a reason why we get Matt being the way he is, and having to get loyal to the dagger and have all those connections get made and make it a bifurcated object,
sure.
which I think would be fine. Rustung, I think, is our next.
Yep, you go ahead.
Okay. Will we get the Twisted Doorway next season? I thought about that earlier. So I was thinking for a little bit of time in season 1 that we were going to get the Twisted Doorway this season. Now, so we need to wave Liam back out a little bit, actually, for a minute.
Okay.
Because this is book
anybody who
4, 5.
Okay,
right?
there you go.
Right?
Spoiler for 4. Yeah.
We're getting close to where we're going to probably end this exciting discussion session to be continued in Discord, especially. And all of that. If you haven't heard us yammer away about Discord server, Jonathan has pinned a comment with a link to our Discord server. We are having a blast over there. It's a small group of folks right now, hoping to grow. We're having a lot of fun having theories and predictions. We've got some stuff split into book spoilers and show spoilers and whatever else, so that if you haven't read all the books,
Orange Diamond is all show spoilers, and if you haven't read the books, you can go into those Orange Diamond channels and be able to talk about everything. But if you have read all the books, you need to kind of keep that that late book discussion into those channels.
Yeah.
The red
Yeah.
circle channels.
We're trying to make it as simple as we can.
Yeah.
As we can make it.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah.
Awesome. So Shelley said I twisted doors in book 4, so until they occupy tier, don't see how.
Right.
Yeah.
The twisted door, and it is in tier, right? That twisted door.
Yeah.
That's late book spoiler ish, sort of, but I guess just saying that is not really. But so yeah, it's assuming it stays in tier. If we make it to tier this season, then we can do it then. But otherwise, it would be impossible.
And then Rustung just replies to her, true, but may still not be impossible.
Yeah, basically. So, anything else? Any other questions? Any other thoughts that we really?
I think if we're going along with this whole book 2 and 3 thing, I think we all are also going to get hopefully introduced to Fail, because that's one thing that we haven't really discussed is where Perrin is. I mean, we talked about him being along with a group, but there's no big arcs for him, and I think that would be an interesting one to throw in, is to bring in Fail and that love. I was about to say love triangle, but it's really just there's not a triangle. Well, no. I guess there is a triangle. I'm sorry, there is one. That's hilarious. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yes, well, that would be an interesting person to add in as well. So I don't know when she comes in, but
yeah. So yeah, having Fael show up would be interesting. I do think on that the most almost for sure bit of that is that we're going to see a more fleshed out Perrin this season. I think he's finally starting to get to where he's attempting to deal with and grapple with what happened to killing his wife and all of that. And so I think that's.
So are we going to get more hunters for the horn? Is that it?
Oh. Welcome back, Liam.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Come back, Liam. Yeah.
Sorry.
Are we going to get more hunters for the horn? Is that going to be a fully like a thing, or is that going to be kind of we're not even going to worry about that?
Well, we haven't gotten as much tease because we haven't had Tom long enough in the show, so we haven't really heard. We've never heard of the hunt for the horn, so we're gonna. I mean, all of that. If we get the hunt for the horn as a thing, as like a yearly, however often that happens or whatever, the whole event of the hunt for the horn, then it'll have to come in this season, and we'll have to get some more hunters for the horn. I don't know that we'll get anybody more than just extras.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see what goes on there. If they make the hunt for the horn a thing, I think we definitely get Falma. We definitely get Fael this season. I think that happens easily.
2 scenes that I really want to see from book 3, hopefully in the show, are Matt defeating Galad and Gawain with a bow staff.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I want to see that, and then also Matt. I hate to spoil it if Liam's not there yet. Matt doing his thing in Tyr when he saves some certain people, and the whole discussion of the people that he saves in Tyr.
People he saves in Tyr?
Yeah.
You talking about?
Egwene and Nynaeve.
That's not in Tyr. That's like in.
Yeah, it is.
The
Stone of Tyr. They're locked away as prisoners.
That's in that book. It's not late. Okay,
yes.
Look, I'm wrong. See. Hashtag something.
Yeah.
Hashtag Sean is wrong.
Anyway, the hopefully it didn't spoil too much for you, but anyway, the discussion that they have about you didn't save us and all the back and forth of that whole thing.
I thought what y'all were talking about was like a part of the Bowl of the Winds plot line.
Nope.
There is something with that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's a
Sean's
repeated
wrong.
thing for Matt. Okay.
It's a first.
Okay. That's clearly false. So Rafe, DK Moon says that Rafe said we will get Fael and she will be more likable, which would be fine because she is irritating as heck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Actually, I say that in the book she is more likable at the beginning and becomes less and less so the more her and Perrin's relationship goes on. In my opinion, but. I
also think we're going to get the introduction to Balefire
this season.
In this season, yeah,
I bet that's true.
Happen
Because that's such an embedded plot point that we kind of see stuck in there in little pieces throughout, and becomes more and more important as we continue. And all, so I think that's probably strong. Yeah.
Yep.
So those are our predictions for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you guys and gals being here.
Yep.
So we will not. Well, I will not have a live next week. Jonathan may, because as I'm going to a wrestling match with my son, and all of that.
No, we'll probably do maybe do lives once a month, kind of keeping up to date with or something like that.
Or
we
whatever strange schedule we end up having.
But we will let you know in our Wheel of Time videos. We've kind of taken a break. If y'all haven't noticed, we've kind of been pulling back a little bit just so we can take a break from doing this all day long on top of our jobs. So, but we do have some Wheel of Time content. We're going to try to keep going once a week on some of that. And so in those videos, we'll give you updates on when our lives will be. We'll also try to schedule them out so y'all see them on the channel early enough so that you're like, oh, I can make time for this live on Saturday, because we enjoy. This is one of the funnest parts that we've had with you, Wheel of Time guys. So we'll definitely continue to do them. To what extent, we'll see. But yeah, so thank you for coming. If you want to support us all the ways we've talked about, the Amazon links, there's what am I thinking of? There's definitely super chat and that kind of thing, and maybe super thanks coming. We don't know about that. I didn't even know that was a thing until seeing it in the back end. But anyway, so yeah, Amazon affiliate links, and we'll be looking for some more stuff coming forward. And guys, if you haven't been on the Discord channel, get on there.
If you do get on and you go by a different name, please let us know what name you are on here. That way we can know who we're talking to.
For those of you that don't know this, in Discord, you can go up into the actual, once you're in the server, you have your list of servers. Once you're in a server, you can go up to server settings and actually change your name for that specific server, which would be super helpful if you go in there when you're in our server and change your name to something close to your YouTube name, so that we know, oh, this is, whatever, and we can kind of keep those things together.
At the very least, at least comment somewhere in the welcome or something.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
I'm so-and-so.
Hey, this is so-and-so. Exactly. So we kind of, so many people. We like keeping in contact with you guys. It's been fun. So thank you guys again. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.